What up, my friends? Welcome back to my channel. Today we have a grocery haul for you. As usual, I ordered a Kroger delivery, showed up at my house. I want to say it was around $60. Had a great variety of different produce and proteins and all the things that I needed to complete my meal plan for the week. I'm also sharing one of my favorite recipes of all time. It's one of my favorite things to eat, and that's Portuguese kale soup. I'll talk a little bit more about it while I'm actually making the soup, but this soup is near and dear to my heart because I am partly Portuguese, and for me, it's just one of the ultimate comfort meals. John and I and the kids have been battling that sickness that's going around for the past week and a half. So this soup came in at the perfect time. It just feels like medicine in a bowl. I didn't really talk about this when I was making the soup and doing my little voiceover, but this soup is a very I don't want to say decadent. It's a clear soup, but it's got a buttery taste to it because it's got ham hock in it, and it's also got linguica. Both of them, despite the fact that I don't add butter anywhere into this recipe, which is a miracle for me, they have a buttery taste to it. So there's a very special taste to the soup. Linguica is the star ingredient in this. However, I know that linguica is not offered in all areas. If you see some type of a Portuguese sausage or a chorizo, you could totally use that. If you're in an area that does a lot of andouille sausage, even something like that would be good. It's basically just any type of zesty sausage that you can find is going to make this soup the best. Or you could even do a hot Italian sausage would probably be really good in it. You're going to see in this video too that the kale basically barely even, actually I shouldn't even say barely fit, it didn't fit in my crock pot. I put the kale in as the very last ingredient very strategically. So if you make this soup, I would do the same thing. That's because I wanted all of the other flavors to be sitting together in what I call the hot tub, AKA my slow cooker. And then I put the kale on top. Kale is like spinach and it wilts down really, really well. So I put an entire bunch of kale on the very top and then allowed the crock pot to kind of steam it from the bottom, and then eventually it wilted down. But at first I couldn't even get the top of the crock pot to sit entirely on the crock pot. So don't laugh at me when you see that. Trust the process and just carry on. Then the other thing that we're making in this video is we're gonna make an entire ham. John got given a ham at work. It was a 10-pound ham, and I decided I would make my tried and true recipe, which is a brown sugar pineapple type recipe. I feel like ham is one of those things that even not adventurous eaters enjoy. However, this recipe is incredibly flavorful, so it appeals to people that are more adventurous eaters. Then I had a 10-pound ham, right? So besides just eating the ham as it was, you kind of have to come up with creative ways to use the leftovers of that ham. So in this video, I'm going to be showing how we use the leftover ham in some incredible, delicious, and super simple ham sliders. Without further ado, let's get into the grocery haul. All right, we have a cute little Kroger haul. This was $60. If you hear my kids in the background, they live here. I usually film stuff like this at night, but this is middle of the day. So produce-wise, I got broccoli and some romaine lettuce. We're going to continue on our obsession with the jarred salads. We cannot be stopped. I also got an onion. And then for the jarred salads, John wants to do a taco salad, and he thought it would be a good idea to have Fritos with it, which I thought was genius. So we're going to give that a try. I also grabbed some Dijon mustard because John had found a recipe for a steak that he wanted to make, and it needed Dijon mustard, which we never have, so I grabbed some of that. I grabbed a couple of jars of pineapple chunks because I just used the last night, and then also I'm going to be making ham this week. For the ham, I grabbed some cloves because I never have it when I need it, so I grabbed that. And then ground mustard. Getting the Dijon mustard reminded me I needed ground mustard because when I make homemade mac and cheese, I put a little ground mustard in it, and it's perfect. It sounds weird, but I don't know. It adds some type of element to macaroni and cheese. It's so good. And then I grabbed a box of each elbow and ditalini pasta because it was on sale for $1. And then over here, I grabbed one of these nacho cheese taco kits from Old El Paso. If you've never had this before, it's delicious. And it's perfect for one of those nights where you just need something fast and easy. And then I got the steak that John needed for the recipe that he saw. And I was super pumped because pork tenderloin was buy one, get one free. So I got like 5 pounds of pork for something incredibly reasonable. This entire order was only $60, which I think is a total win. So that's everything from Kroger today. If you're new here, hi, welcome. How's the family? Thank you so much for taking a chance and clicking on that thumbnail. If you end up enjoying this video, please feel free to check out the rest of my channel because I have plenty of other hauls, I have lots of recipes, and I have tips and tricks for helping to manage busy lives. If you end up enjoying the channel, please feel free to subscribe before you leave, and let's go ahead and get into the recipes. So, fun fact about me, I am partly Portuguese, and I grew up in a small town outside of New Bedford, Massachusetts, which is a predominantly Portuguese area. One thing that is taken very seriously there is Portuguese kale soup. People are very passionate about the proper way to cook this soup. I've been making mine for years now, the way I'm about to show you, and you all should be very proud of me because I've avoided sharing a recipe for this online before now, knowing how important this soup is to people. My favorite thing about soup is the ability to clean out your fridge and toss in any produce that's looking a little ragged around the edges. So this soup that I'm sharing today is basically the base of the recipe, but if I had other veggies on hand like carrots, celery, or even zucchini, I would not hesitate to toss them in the hot tub. I had no right to be making this soup in the sized crock pot I have, by the way. My crock pot is only 4.5 quarts, and this was really pushing the limits. It ended up working out, but I could not have added even like a single additional garlic clove, or it would have been man overboard. The recipe for this will be in the description box. As you can see, it mostly starts out as a dump and go recipe. I let it cook low and slow for 5 hours, and then about a half hour before I wanted to serve it, I took out the ham hock. Since it was so hot, I used some kitchen scissors to make quick work of getting the meat off of it. Then I just stuck that meat right back in the hot tub for about a half an hour. I had almost forgot to pull out the bay leaves, so don't be like me and just get those out for yourself as well. This soup is perfect for the winter months. It has so many great nutrients in it. If you like spicy, you can increase the red pepper flakes really easy to make it even more flavorful, or you could remove it entirely if you don't. This soup freezes really well, and this recipe makes so much. What I usually do is transfer some of the soup right into like those deli soup containers and stick it in the freezer, and then that way if John doesn't have a plan for lunch, he can easily grab that, let it defrost, and heat it up at work. Hi, my friends. I'm in the middle of editing this video, so please excuse this random pop-in of mine, but I didn't elaborate enough on the hilariousness of the ham that I'm about to share. So we were originally going to put it in the Instant Pot, but then it ended up being a complete disaster. So then we end up switching it over to a Dutch oven. What I wanted to touch upon that I didn't in the video is just I left everything in. I could have easily just been like, well, we're starting over. Let me show you the Dutch oven and just go from there. But I decided to leave everything in because I just wanted to show you that things happen in the kitchen all the time. And so if things happen in your kitchen, I don't want you to feel alone because I cook all the time. 95% of the food that is consumed by this family is cooked by me. We barely eat out, and I still have these like random things that occur. So I'm leaving it all in. I hope you guys have a chuckle with us. We thought it was hilarious. Okay, so anyways, on to the video. Okay, my friends, we are doing something different tonight. Very different for us. First of all, I pretty much only use my Instant Pot for mashed potatoes at this point, but we have this ham that will not fit in my crock pot, and I have a 4.5 quart crock pot, but a 6 quart Instant Pot. So it's very suspicious. This is a sus situation, as the kids would say, because this is a 10-pound ham, and John is really gonna have to like force it into this Instant Pot, but we're gonna make the dreams come true. This is perfect for holidays, so like Easter is coming up. If you need a ham recipe, super easy to throw together. I usually do this one in the crock pot, but we're gonna do it in the Instant Pot tonight. All you need for this is brown sugar, pineapple chunks, maraschino cherries, allspice, cloves, and ground mustard. Now, normally what I do is I get the pineapple rings and I take a toothpick and I make it look all nice. Since we're cooking it in the Instant Pot, it's actually going to pressure cook, so there's not a need to do that, and I don't have the time anyway, and I also don't have toothpicks, so there's that. So you're going to watch us do that, but we're going to show you guys how this goes down and hope for the best because we don't know what we're doing, so life is good. All right, guys, we were going to attempt to Instant Pot this, but the Instant Pot, like, what is that called, maximum line, is like 4 inches down, and I don't feel comfortable. This is like approaching like disaster zone. I don't have a roasting pan, but I remembered I do have a Dutch oven, and the Dutch oven is a generous size. So we're going to be transferring this beast into the Dutch oven. Have John use his muscles. Go ahead, John. I believe in you. The good news is I can now season both sides. So great. Okay, it's already looking good.
We just use the Instant Pot as a mixing bowl.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so now that we have an entire 10-pound ham made, what the heck is this are we going to do with it? Thank you so much for asking. I'd love to tell you. We are going to make some ham sliders with it. These ham sliders were so good. I'll share John and I spending an excessive amount of time discussing our excitement with them afterwards, but these were so easy to throw together and a great use of the leftover ham. If you didn't just cook a ham like we did, you could easily just use some deli ham or any other deli meat for this as well. I feel like this would be a major hit with the kids. The recipe, as always, will be down below, but it's really straightforward. It's just ham and cheese on some Hawaiian sliders. And then you make a sauce for the top that has melted butter, mayonnaise, and Dijon mustard. We aren't Dijon mustard fans, so we used a small amount of it, but it ended up being absolutely perfect. You brush that over the top of the slider buns and then sprinkle some seasonings over it. We used a combination of garlic salt and everything but the bagel seasoning. I wouldn't change a single thing. They were that good. All right, John is going to test this out for us. Look at how great they look.
I like the mustard on the bun.
Right? I feel like it was the perfect amount.
Yeah.
Because we don't like Dijon mustard. That's why it's kind of surprising to us in case,
Yeah.
for the people tuning in that don't know our preferences, we don't really like Dijon mustard.
I love that topping.
The topping made it like super golden brown, and then it has garlic salt and everything but the bagel seasoning. And that's like the perfect topping.
Perfect.
So good.
The cheese, I feel, because it was in between all the stuff, and I thought it was going to melt and like stick to the bottom.
Right.
But it like melted and like wrapped itself around the bottom of the bun.
I really like these buns. We got these buns. They're Pepperidge Farm buns. We usually get King's Hawaiian, but Pepperidge Farm remembers. We usually get King's Hawaiian, but these were like half the price. And I actually prefer these to the King's Hawaiian one. They're not as sweet. John has something to say. I feel like they're not as sweet, but they're not messy.
They're definitely not as sweet. They're not as messy. I feel like when you have the Hawaiian sweetbread, you get more bread flavor, whereas this, you get more of the other
filling.
Flavors. The filling, the topping.
I see what you're saying. I see what you mean.
Doesn't hide from all the flavors, whereas the Hawaiian sweetbread, it's like
that's the main. That's the main element. Right. That's the main character energy. That's what the kids would say.
That's what the kids say. I don't know. I would never know what the kids say.
But this, I mean, I feel like we're spending a lot of time talking about sliders, but this is definitely a win.
I think this is, like, I'd rather go this route than sweetbread.
Yeah.
Like if
this is Hawaiian sweetbread. It's just Pepperidge Farm's Hawaiian sweetbread. It's not King's Hawaiian sweetbread.
Oh.
But so it's like it's mildly sweet compared to King's Hawaiian.
Right. And
but the structure I feel like is way better on this because it's like
Way
a
better.
hamburger bun miniature.
Right. And I feel like it's not as doughy.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, I agree.
It's like...
Because King's Hawaiian sweetbread is like thick. This
yeah,
is relatively...
and it's like chewy.
Yeah, this is relatively... I think this would be perfect at a little... Like for appetizers or something, you have people over.
You put a bunch of these like on a little platter. These are great finger foods.
The other thing is that I feel like a lot of people struggle with leftovers for the major holidays. So like Easter ham, you could make these during the week. Kids would love this. And then also if you had turkey, leftover Thanksgiving turkey, do the same thing.
This with leftover turkey.
But imagine with the cream cheese and cranberry sauce. Everybody listening is probably like, Kate, what are you talking about? I'm telling you right now.
You've never had a turkey gobbler?
It's a turkey gobbler, cream cheese, cranberry sauce, turkey, and then do the same topping that we did.
I mean, we have a 25-pound turkey.
We do. We're going to have to do it for them. We'll be back soon, guys.
We're going to do it for you.
We're going to cook. We're going to show them how Kate cooks her mayonnaise rubbed perfect turkey.
It's
the best turkey ever. And then we will make the leftovers.
Yep.
Boom. And then people will be set up for holidays to come.
I mean, for science.
For science, we have to do it.
For science, we have to.
We have to do it for the internets.
It is what it is.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for spending some of your day with me. It means the absolute world to me. I hope I delivered whatever you needed when you clicked on that thumbnail, and I hope you have a magical day. Bye.